Good morning. Yesterday, a relatively unknown yet powerful appeals court for the entire United States delivered a landmark ruling declaring that President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs are unconstitutional. Fortunately, the court put off enforcement of their decision until October 14th, knowing that the U.S. Supreme Court is likely to weigh in on the matter due to the disruptive consequences of such a decision. This court has nationwide jurisdiction over appeals involving international trade, patents, and federal government claims, distinguishing it from the 18 other regional federal appeals courts in the United States. 7 of the 11 justices at this court found Trump's tariffs to be unconstitutional, affirming a lower court's decision that President Trump exceeded his authority to impose the tariffs under the National Emergencies Act, NEA, of 1976. This act cleaned up prior emergency declarations from 1933, 1950, etc., to establish clear guidelines for what circumstances the president could override his normal statutory authority to address unforeseen events such as wars and natural disasters, events that could not wait on legislation to ponderously crawl their way through Congress. When was this enacted and why? It became law on September 14, 1976, just 36 days after President Richard Nixon resigned from office and was replaced by President Ford, and was at least in part the result of a little-known plot by President Nixon to keep himself in power for a third and possibly subsequent terms as president. More on this later. It is clear that Trump believes that the international financial order was working to weaken the United States, with Iran, Russia, and the Communist Chinese each vying for their piece of the crumbling U.S. pie. This decision by the most powerful court beneath the Supreme Court was clearly aimed at reversing the gains made by Trump's Make America Great Again movement. As attorney Ashley Ackers, a former Justice Department trial lawyer, argued just before the court's decision, while existing trade deals may not automatically unravel, the administration could lose a pillar of its negotiating strategy, which may embolden foreign governments to resist future demands, delay implementation of prior commitments, or even seek to renegotiate terms. In other words, this could become the Supreme's most important decision yet. If they agree and reverse Trump's spectacular financial gains made by increased tariffs, it will throw havoc into the U.S. financial system and will weaken the U.S. both at home and abroad. For example, Russia's plans in Ukraine would suddenly become emboldened. Ukraine's position would be weakened. All of Europe will feel more vulnerable, and China, well, their ambitions, which Trump had pretty much destroyed, would be at least paused, if not magically restored. All the justices on this court probably live in the suburbs surrounding Washington, D.C., and it is likely their political persuasions are much more liberal than those of the average American and similar to the 95% of the D.C. population who despise Trump's anti-internationalist views. To them, this is their last chance to take Trump down. It's now up to the United States Supreme Court. I'm still reporting from just outside the citadel of world freedom. Good day.